It's the Riot Podcast, the Wednesday, November 15th edition. Today is Would You Rather Wednesday. We had a great discussion about how much you would have to pay how much somebody would have to pay you to not work. And the number seems to be different for a lot of different people. We also find out about one secret that a third of men are keeping from their significant others. And if that's healthy or not.
Never is. Secrets are never healthy.
We talk about how women consider friendships more important than romantic relationships and whether that's true or untrue, good or bad. And Kim Kardashian named Man of the Year by GQ Magazine. One of our best episodes of all time, would you say?
I would say it's a good episode.
It's up there. Enjoy, and we'll catch you next time.
See you guys.
Add a little Riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but GQ, Gentleman's Quarterly, they just put out their Men of the Year issue, featuring the likes of some of the Men of the Year, according to GQ. Damar Hamlin. Good choice, right? Jacob Elordi plays Elvis. Tim Robinson, funny guy. And Kim Kardashian. Not only is Kim Kardashian in GQ's Men of the Year edition, she is the cover of the GQ Men of the Year what do you call it?
Magazine?
No, what's the I don't know. Edition. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Kim Kardashian, GQ is essentially saying, is their Man of the Year.
That's pretty crazy.
People are a little upset, a little confused. Now, she is featured on the cover doing something only a man would do, eating a bag of Cheetos. So it makes sense.
So relatable.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I do. I'm a man, last I checked. So here are there's several hypotheses of why Kim Kardashian would be the Man of the Year. One, she's so good at being a woman that she's actually a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm getting your drift there.
She could be, or so bad at being a woman. I don't know how it works. Or all of us men, literally every single one of us is so bad at being a man that even a woman is better at it.
Well, they're superior, clearly.
Yeah. I guess another idea is that GQ is confused. I'm just, I don't know. I'm thrown for a loop just like everybody else.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept putting a woman on the cover of the GQ Man of the Year. So is she the Man of the Year?
That's what I don't think they've crowned her Man of the Year, but I mean, they are essentially saying that she's the Man of the Year.
How do you think that she feels about being Man of the Year?
That's what I was wondering too.
You think she wants to be Man of the Year? Would you want to be Woman of the Year?
I feel
like that would be kind of disrespectful to women if I was Woman of the Year.
Yeah, but here's what you don't understand. It's okay to disrespect men. If I was named Woman of the Year, yes, I think women should be very upset. But me as a man, I'd be very proud of that.
Being Woman of the Year.
Even if I was Woman of the Year, you wouldn't see that as an insult, would you? To me, hopefully not. I'd be very proud. Wear that as a badge of honor.
Yeah, it's impressive that Kim Kardashian was able to overcome.
Yeah.
Even her own gender. What can't she do?
That's exactly right.
What can't she do?
She broke through one of the glassest ceilings of all ceilings. She did it. The first woman to be named Man of the Year.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
And that's wild.
I don't even think we have room to be upset. I think we should just be proud for her.
I'm shocked.
And clearly we need to step our game up.
Yeah.
We didn't even make the issue for you.
No, we're not even in the cut, man.
Yeah. I mean, at least
We weren't even close.
Tim Robinson's close. He's breathing down Kim Kardashian's neck. But
He's almost as man as she is.
yeah.
Nobody does it better. The Riot Radio U.
Interesting poll here of women finds that 81% of women surveyed feel that friendships are equally or more so important than romantic relationships. Do you believe this?
Well, that's a bad sign for us,
For men?
for the boys.
Why do you say that?
Well, if they think that their friendships are more important than
Mm-hmm.
their romantic relationships,
Yeah.
their husband,
Uh-huh.
their boyfriend, that seems kind of wild.
That means they'd rather get divorced than lose their best friend. Right?
That's what would make sense, right?
I think it'd be helpful to know, and they did not survey men in this survey. I wish we could ask the same question of men and find out if men feel the same way. Because, guys even have a saying about, regarding this that I'm not going to repeat here on the radio. But is the same true for men as well? That we consider friendship more important than romance?
I don't buy into this whatsoever.
It's
Even a
overwhelming. It's
little bit.
81%. 81%.
It's impossible. 81% of adults don't even have friends. That's a fact.
So then why do you think
I don't know
people
what
are
they're
saying
even
this?
saying. I don't even know who's saying this.
Women are saying it.
All people talk about is like, oh, it's so much harder to make friends when you get older. That's what people usually talk about.
That's
And
why
now
it's
they're
so
saying,
important.
You know what? Friends are more important than this man that's been by my side the whole time.
It makes sense. It makes sense, actually, when you put it that way, that as you get older, more people would say, I just have a really hard time making friends than I have a really hard time finding somebody. Because you know what? There's apps and there's places you go to meet people that want to date, that want romance. Where do you go to find people that want friends? So when you have a friendship, you got to hold on to it. And it's more important than, husband, replaceable. Friendship, you can't replace that.
Forever.
It's much more difficult. Much more difficult.
Girls the other thing about girls too is you can ask them about their friends.
Uh-huh.
And the next time you ask them, they're like, oh no, I hate her. I would never be friends with her. She's the worst person alive. They're flippity floppity. That's how it works.
Guys don't do that. I'm sure of that.
No.
Not many of them.
I think it's because they're just so unbothered.
Yeah.
They don't go quite as deep, probably, when hanging out. So there's way less opportunity for fallout.
Here was the other thing I was thinking, though, is, and I don't know how this slides into this story here, but if a guy wants to hang out with his guy friends a lot, many women will will limit that a little bit in a relationship, whereas no guy is ever going to limit, no, you can't have girls' night. Dudes don't do that to their ladies. So I don't know how that fits in exactly. Maybe it's just that women could be jealous that the men have friends. Could that be?
I don't know.
I don't want to generalize. I'm not trying to generalize too much. I'm trying to figure out how the behavior is much different typically.
Well, I think it's because when it feels like when all the boys are hanging out, they're doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Or maybe when the ladies are hanging out, they're
we're not getting our nails
They're not
done.
getting they're getting coffee or something.
Yeah.
When the guys are hanging out,
Or it's wine down Wednesday.
they're doing something dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Actually, that aspect has nothing to do with this. But hey, now you know, if it's a guy, you know what you're up against. Not only do you have all the other guys to compete with, you also have every woman's friends.
This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
Last night, a big night in the NBA, controversial actions taken by who other than Draymond Green, Golden State Warriors All-Star, who at the end of when it was all said and done, wound up putting Minnesota Timberwolves center Rudy Gobert in a sleeper hold. Isaiah, you've seen the video. Is there any defense for Draymond Green's actions here?
There's no defense. Draymond's been on kind of a kick recently of trying to be a little bit more disturbing than usual.
Yeah. You mean like a 8-year kick or something?
Yeah, but in the past couple, like the past 3 games, he's gotten into an altercation in every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
With Anthony Edwards, now Rudy Gobert. It seems as if as his career wanes, this may be the path that he goes, which is just being more and more obnoxious in every game.
Yeah. Yeah. As the skills go.
Well, he's averaging 8 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists.
Per
Not
game.
too shabby.
That's pretty good, especially when one of the games you got kicked out 2 minutes into it last night. That's what's crazy, too, is this whole altercation went down before anybody had even scored in the game last night. It actually started. Draymond didn't start it. He sure did finish it. It was Klay Thompson of the Warriors and Jaden McDaniels of the Timberwolves got into a little bit of a scuffle. They were kind of getting tangled up running down the court. And then, some of the players got to go in to start to try to break that up a little bit. And then in comes Draymond from behind, grabs Rudy Gobert from the Timberwolves from behind, puts him in a sleeper hold, and then would not let go. That's what's wild. Because I thought at first when I watched the video, it's like, look, if he's going in there, like if it's any other player, and he goes in there and he's just trying to pull somebody out of the fray, and that's how he does it, like that'd be one thing. But first of all, usually you do that to a teammate, not the opponent. And then secondly, you got him in a sleeper hold. The rest of the altercation's over, and now he is the altercation by keeping Rudy Gobert in a sleeper hold. Do you wonder this, Isaiah? I think I feel like I felt like this before. Draymond Green, he's done a bunch of things. None of them individually warrant being kicked out of the NBA. But the fact that he just keeps doing it, all of the little slaps on the wrist, even as they get harder and harder, don't seem to be any deterrent to him. Should you just like suspend him for a year or something?
No, you can't do that.
But it's cumulative, like a 3-strike
But like, what is he
policy.
really doing that's so bad? Like, yes, he's annoying, but he's the player that you want to have on your team. I wish the Cavs had a guy on our team that was like Draymond. If he's on your team, you absolutely love him. He makes your team 10 times better. Everybody needs his enforcer.
No,
but you can't kick him out of the league. And it makes the league so much better. It makes the league so much better to have guys like this, because what do you want your players to do every game? You want them to really care.
Mm-hmm.
You want them to back each other up and fight and put people in headlocks. Like, that's what you want to watch. You don't want guys that don't care. Draymond cares. He has a terrible way of putting it out there, but he is one of those players that you want on your team. I
think it's over the top. I think you do want guys that care, but I don't know if he even cares or if he just, is a jerk. Like maybe he just got into the NBA as an excuse to be able to put people in headlocks because you can't do this anywhere else.
Yeah, but he's a great player though. Like, yet again, he's still a great player, which is just wild that he's been able to hold on for so long. He's just one of those guys that you want on your team. If he's not on your team, you hate him. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
But if he's on your team, you'd never want to lose him.
I don't remember you saying all offseason that the Cavs should sign Dylan Brooks.
No, but Dylan Brooks is another example of somebody that you would want to have on your team.
I don't know.
Like
that.
when you look at the finals, when the Cavs were in the finals, there was Matthew Dellavedova. How good is that player? Not very good. But at the same time, he's one of those guys that you would want to have on your team. You need guys like that.
I think there's a limit, and Draymond's over the limit.
So you want him kicked out of the NBA?
I think they need to send a message.
Once you kick him out, then who's next? Dylan Brooks, is he next? Like, where do you draw the line then?
With people that keep doing it over and over again is where I draw the line.
Well, you got ejected.
Oh, hi there.
This worst of the riot.
Crank that up.
Radio U.
It's Would You Rather Wednesday. You can text in at 8772 Radio U with your thoughts on today's question, which is, would you rather make $500 per workday to not work at all, and you're not allowed to have any job. You can't get paid additionally by doing something else. It's $500 a day to do absolutely nothing as far as work is concerned, or make $5,000 a day, but you have to work a 9-to-5 job. You can text in at 8772 Radio U. We have Tiffany, who says $500 a day to not work, so I could travel and spend my money where and when I want it. You also have Abby, similar thoughts. I would rather take the $120,000. That's, $500 a day, 5 days a week. Throughout a year, that equals about $120K per year to go full nomad like a hippie.
Oh.
Yeah. I like that. I like that take
Sounds
on
relaxing.
it. I like that idea. Nathan doesn't necessarily choose a side, but he says he doesn't think it's about the money. It's more about whether or not you can stop going to work and not become a sloth. All that time on your hands. Hannah says, I want to be a stay-at-home mom anyways, so $500 a day is fine with me, and that's a fulltime job anyways.
Heck yeah, it is.
Yeah, if you can make $500 a day to be a stay-at-home mom, that makes a lot of sense because you're a stay-at-home mom, you don't make any money doing that. Adam, are you kidding me? $500 a day to not work. That's a no-brainer for sure. I'm going with that one. Regina, $500 a day or $5,000 a day and go to work. I've been in between jobs before and get incredibly bored, and would make work more tolerable if you're making that much. And all the nonsense I have to put up with currently in my job would be easier to deal with if it was $5,000 worth of nonsense. What are you thinking, Isaiah?
I go back and forth here. This is tough. Where I am now, I think I would take the 5,000. I think I would take the 1.2 mil a year.
Yeah, and keep working.
Which is so hard to choose. But I think that's what I would probably pick, because then if I wanted to, my wife could stay at home. And when you think about it this way too, I could take the 500 and take the 120K a year, which is good. It's not like amazing, like the greatest thing on earth. I'm not like filthy stinking rich or anything.
Yeah.
But the 5,000 a year, then I'm feeling pretty good. Then like my kids are set up real hot, like a little bit more generational wealth,
Well, I'm with you that I would, we're in agreement, although I think the majority of everyone else seems to be taking the no money. I mean, it's not a vast majority, but more people are taking the no work and $500 a day. But I think, like some have said, I would first of all get bored doing nothing, not being able to work. I need something to fill my time. People are saying travel, but unless you live like the van life, $120,000 a year is a lot. That's still not a lot. Like, you can't have a house and a van. Like, you're going to run through your money pretty quick. You're not going to be able to be comfortable. Van life doesn't sound very comfortable. But $120K a year is not enough to have two homes or multiple homes throughout the country, to go back and forth. So I'm taking the 1.2 mil, and that still allows me. I'm still only working 5 days a week. I still get vacation and stuff, right? Like, we're not discounting that. So I can still do it. Now I'm making $1 million a year. I can do everything that I really could think of that I would want to do. And I still have a job to occupy my time when I'm not traveling and taking vacations and whatever.
Shroom made some really good point. This could be a swing. I thought about this too. $500 per day feels more sustainable. The 5K ends when you quit working, but the 500 keeps going. Therefore, when you retire, you're going to end up with the exact same amount of money. It's going to be pretty darn close.
1.2 million is enough for you to have a pretty healthy savings built up too.
Yeah, but think about this.
You invest a 401k, you start doing that kind of stuff.
But you think about this. Think about this. You quit working at 50 years old. You retire, right? Because you're not going to want to work forever. You want to retire. Then from 50 to 85, you're living off that savings, right? But in my mind, because at the end, you're not going to have millions and millions of dollars anymore.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, well, why'd you even work in the first place? You could have just not worked the whole time and probably been in a
I
similar
don't think
place.
there's a lot of people that make $1 million a year and run out of money.
I'm not saying you're
later
going to
in
run
life.
out of money, but I'm saying if you're making $120K when you're 85 years old,
Mhm.
you're probably going to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, but also though, there's a lot of people that make a lot of money and they don't just stop working at 50. Most people don't stop working, no matter how much you make, you don't stop working at 50 because of the very thing we mentioned that, at least for me, I'd get real bored.
But think about this.
I'd
There's a
like
lot of
to
people
think if I could retire at 50, I would, but at the same time, I think when I'm 50, I'm going to be like, well, what am I going to do all the time?
But think about this. There's somebody going into work today that hates their job and they would do
Yeah.
anything to quit. They
Yeah,
would.
but
They don't care
they
if I said, would you rather have 1.2 mil to keep your job right now or 120K? They would say, I hate my job. I'm going home.
You
They're
got to
probably
really
dumping
hate
it.
your job to say no to $1 million a year, though.
I'm sure there's some people that really don't like their job. I mean, if you're saying no to $1 million to do 120K, that's a lot easier to say no to.
8772
If you're
Radio
cleaning
U.
somebody's toilet, that's probably what you're taking if I had to guess.
Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
Now, Isaiah, even in the healthiest of relationships, where honesty is so key, that doesn't mean there's not secrets. You're almost bound to have a few,
You've got secrets, do you?
no matter
How many
good,
secrets do you have?
no matter how strong the relationship is. For example, according to a new survey, 1 out of every 3 men in a relationship has done this in secret, and that is a home improvement project.
Well, the ladies aren't going to like that. They don't like secrets.
Yeah, you got to be honest, but maybe you just, as a guy, maybe you're just thinking, what input does she even need to add on this? If I want to put a stone walkway in the backyard, that's my choice. Maybe it'll be a surprise. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe these are surprises, meant to be surprises.
These aren't surprises.
So you're telling me I have 2 questions for you. 1, would you ever do this? And 2, could you? Not only would you try to pull off a secret home improvement project, but do you think you would be capable of such a thing? And forgetting about the actual home improving part,
Like, could I keep a secret?
could you keep a project a secret?
I would say I could keep a project a secret if it is more of a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
I think
New
that,
French doors, perhaps?
yeah, I would say the reason that this happens is because there's not going to be an agree-al on
Agreeal?
agree-al. They won't be able to agree.
You mean agreement?
There will not be able to be an agree-al
Yeah.
on maybe the color, maybe the
Oh.
type. It's not that it's going to be a big surprise.
Uh-huh.
It's that if you asked her, what kind of doors do you want?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get an answer for a very long time.
It could, and yeah, you might disagree. So,
Or you might never get an answer. She might never be able to make up her mind. So you might just say, you know what, I'm just going to do it. Put it in there. And I'm sure that's happened many a times.
yeah, I don't know if that sounds very healthy. I think for some of these,
That's
it
what
could
it is,
be,
brother.
it could literally be something where, if it's something that's going to change the appearance of the house in some way, then of course, I think you wouldn't want to keep that a secret unless it is meant to be a surprise. Like, oh, she's always mentioned that she wants a new patio, and so I'm putting it in. Again, that'd be hard to keep secret, but take a week away. Go take a week vacation. I don't know. But if it's something like, let's say plumbing, maybe where the input wouldn't matter as much, just that it gets done. The guy notices, hey, we need to update this piping, got to be switched out. You can also see how little I know about home improvement. The PVC, we got to get some new PVC in here.
So the
And-
study here is talking about 43% said they disagreed on style or taste, so that's why they didn't tell him. 80% said they disagreed on budget, so that's why they didn't tell him. So I think it's more of just a secret.
But if you disagree on style or taste, it's a big risk, because then you're talking about you put this in, and then what if the missus says, oh, no, we won't have this. Yellow, really? That
Hudson,
shade? We're not doing this.
This is what you need to realize. It doesn't matter what you put in. You're not going to agree.
So then just put in what she wants at first.
And
So
then
that you don't have to redo it or get somebody angry. You just got to live with it.
you just got to do it. You just put it in.
I don't think this is healthy at all. Take it from me, a married man. You don't want to do this.
This dude doesn't do home improvement.
No.
Wasn't that a great Riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.